All right, cats and kittens. I'm going to give you a little tour of my newly redesigned and cleaned, more importantly, cleaned studio here. So let's start. We got a little, I've always had this little couch I picked up off Craigslist. It's a nice little couch with a little footstool, little settee, as they would say. And that's basically my acoustic setup right there. I often play acoustic guitar there, practicing some of my songs so I don't forget them. And I'll put the microphones out here in stereo. And it works out really well. I've been getting a really good sound. I also play acoustic Weissenborn from this setting. The room is acoustically tuned. We've got panels in the corners. And when I'm playing Weissenborn or lap steel, I have all like my little accoutrement here. Gig rig 3-to-1 is handy when I'm playing multiple instruments. But all this stuff I use, like, I cut off some bamboo, kind of cuts off the sustain. Gives a real nice kind of funky but still chimey sound. It's very Asian. I use anything from Brillo pads to coffee milk whippers to springs. I'm very picky about the springs. I had to go to several hardware stores to find the right spring with the right tension and texture. Various bows and e-bows and clips. Let's see, let's get a close-up here. Oh, we've got, brass brushes, various clips that I'll put on the alligator clips that I'll put on the strings to give me different tones and sort of a ring moddy thing. Yeah. I've got this Paul Vaux wand, which was meant to be a sort of e-bow-ish thing. Didn't really work out that way, but it does make a nice, nasty sound when you run it along the strings when it's on. That's pretty cool. And then this little guy is trying to escape. You got to have a dildo. You know what I mean? Actually, when you turn it on and run it by the pickup, makes an amazing squealing sound, and that's what the frother, the milk frother, is for. Anyway, over here, I keep a turntable in here, which I'll get to in a second, but I gotta have my favorite vinyl and my favorite music books. These are only the music books I haven't read so far, actually. The Lou Reed one I have, though, and I've gotten some, started the Andy Summers and the Peter Green ones, but for the most part, those are the ones I still got to get to. So this is my favorite vinyl out of Teddy Riptal, Richard Thompson, Bert Jansch, Derek Bailey, AMM Music, the must-haves. And have an 88-key keyboard. I think it's a Roland RD600. It's fully weighted. It's really nice. Cousin Jeffrey gave it to me. Used to use it quite a bit. Don't use it that much now. My lap steel. It's my lap steel rig. Now my pedal board would be down there next to the volume pedal and the M5, but that is over here for now because it's being put together, waiting for a new Bluesbreaker style circuit, a dual channel thing for there. So the M5 would come first, then all this stuff after the blooper is the Sonus volume pedal, which has volume, compression, it can do tremolo, it can do ring mod, it can do gate. It's also got a limiter, but I don't use that. And then after it will be the Chase Bliss 1978 CXM. So that's what's happening there. Redid the modular stuff. I figured it made more sense to all be on a table. So I've got 2 pallets. I've gotten a little frustrating getting some of the 1 rack unit modules. They've been out of stock for quite a few months. Hope to get those soon, which is why I haven't put together the second pallet yet. I've got everything again except for those 1 rack units. But to put in these 1 rack units, if you've ever dealt with these, it's a pain in the butt because you have to take apart the whole thing and take this middle bar out, as I've already done here. And I don't want to do it more than a couple times as I have already. So when the ones for this come in, take it all apart, be done with it, and then the couple more for this one will be here soon. I've got an Erika Synths Pico system. It's been actually pretty useful for a cheap little unit. I actually like it quite a bit. Here's one of the new 1 rack units that I'm waiting to put in. That's a Pointus. I really, really like my Arturia Micro Freak a lot. I really love it when I can sync it to the BeatStep Pro and have multiple sequence channels and multiple sequences on those channels. There's an awful lot you can do, and I can also send this stuff CV out and in to the modular. I can also send it out and in to VCV Rack, the virtual modular rigs that you can get for free in your computer at vcvrack.com. There's the Chase Bliss Maris 1978. This is a Critter and Guitari. I'm not sure what the name of it again, but what it does is you send music into it, you send audio into it, and it generates random video. And I've done a video installation for a museum in London, and it's 6.5 hours long. So I'm about to finish that and mix the last 3 pieces, and then send all 6.5 hours to this, generate the video, which will be recorded onto a hard drive for the installation. Got some reamps, got all my slide guitar stuff, my favorite, not virtual, but my favorite amp in a box, my favorite, what do they call these things? They're amp sim amp sim pedals, vibe things. That's what they're called. Anyway, it's the HSM and Humboldt. Or is it DSM and Humboldt? DSM and Humboldt Simplifier. I just love it, love it, love it. This is one of my prized pieces. Everybody who really is obsessed about pedals, like I am, knows that there are only 4 of these made. This is the Digital Flora FX Biomoon. I'll be doing a demo on this soon because Kent is my buddy. He's brilliant. I love him, and he's Norwegian. So I'll be doing a demo on that. So far, he's only made 4. Hopefully, he'll make more. This is the new Afterneath V3. I actually love this thing. I wasn't sure, but it does things that other reverby pedals don't. It's fantastic. And then I send the back fram from Pladask Elektrisk into that. The way this all works is sometimes this is the last in my chain because it has up to 11 seconds of delay if you turn the delay up. So you can do Frippatronics with it. It's also got a filter and modulation and reverb. I like the reverb in it. It's based on the Clouds reverb, but sometimes the Chase Bliss, where is it? The Chase Bliss will be in this position. So I run to my pedal board on the floor over here when it's there. That comes out, goes into the back fram, the Afterneath, and then either the Biomoon or the Chase Bliss, and then into the simplifier into Pro Tools. So guitars. This is the first guitar I ever bought, and I'm very proud that I still have it. It's signed by Dion, the Wanderer, and if you look really close, it's all faded now because I think Les was a wily dude, and he wanted you to come back and pay to see him again to get another signature, but that's Les Paul's signature. I bought that guitar when I was a teenager with my own newspaper route money, and I still have it. I love it. It's set up for acoustic slide. It's amazing. It's one of those Martin Sigmas, but this was when they were making them in Japan and making them as good as the Martins, so they stopped making them. It's pretty funny. Let's go over here. This is my PCM 42 with the 22nd and reverse Gary Hall mods that I was a part of and helped bring to market and sell. But we're now working on another project that I can't tell you about, but it's going to be super duper cool, and you can all get your hands on it pretty soon. Nothing sounds like the PCM 42, the limiter, the delay, everything. Sorry about the shadows. That's my Tom Kundle S-Style. Amazing, amazing sounding guitar with 1959 pickups by Mr. Sko here in Nashville, hand wound. Wish I had a better picture of that for you. Oh yeah, and you know, this is very important. Your label maker, you gotta have a label maker. This is my, well, it's, yeah, I guess I bought this body for 150 bucks, and pickups are great. Turned it into a baritone. Got a Wengi neck, a Wengi baritone neck from Warmouth, and we turned it into an awesome baritone. The neck cost 3 times as much as the guitar, but it was worth it. And I put a mastery bridge on it. I'm sorry, I need the strings to stay in place and easy to deal with. And those old, you know, Jaguar Jazzmaster bridges, I can't deal with them. So you gotta love the mastery. Oh yeah, and there's my little turntable setup. What I did is this is an old Dynaco preamp from the 60s. This was an early 60s one. And I brought it to Todd Sharp, the amp guy here in Nashville, and he completely rebuilt it. It's got the mods in it. I can't remember what they call the mod, but it's so you can turn the tone on and off. I always keep it off. It sounds better that way to me. And an old dual 704 turntable with a Shure 15 cartridge. Totally love it. I have Equator speakers, 6-inch Equator speakers for this because they were the ones I got in London that I also used for my turntable there. And they just sound great. This unit sounds great. And I got more vinyl down here, more my favorites, mostly guitar stuff, guitar-based music. That's sort of what I keep in here in the studio. And like you can see, we try to treat the room as much as possible. The corners are all treated. Moving on. This is my 12-string, my acoustic 12-string. Really love it. Sounds amazing. Not a huge fan of the builder, but that's more of a personal thing. Professionally, it's great. And I love it. So I'm not going to tell you more about that. Oh, I have an awesome little Washburn mandolin right here. Not going to take it out and do some juggling and make this more of a Born Identity video than it has to be, but it's amazing for like 300 bucks. Everybody can't believe how great it sounds. Used it a lot. And then I got this Recording King acoustic. That's really amazing. I gotta say, for like 400 bucks, this thing's fantastic. I put a pickup in it. It's great. My nylon string. I don't know. Seems like you gotta have a nylon string around the studio. Again, from the same builder I don't care for, but a great guitar. This is my favorite guitar. It's, let's get from this angle. This guitar I got I traded 2 pedals for to a guy from the gear page. It was done. It was finished. I don't know if he didn't like the color, but he had actually done everything right. He had done the Bigsby right. He got the pickup. It's like a DiMarzio Hot T pickup. He got the Eldred wiring right. So you've got the 3-position wiring. And it was yellow. It was like a mustard yellow. So I just threw a bunch of stickers on it. I did change the neck because I think it's WMD Music. They make this Telecaster neck, or somebody makes it for them. And it's just ridiculously perfect. It's a C-shaped neck, but I mean, I just love that neck. And it felt great, and I didn't care for the neck on it. Threw that neck on something else, sold that guitar, and for 2 guitar pedals, I got it. I did do the Callahan mod, though, so I did spend some money on it. I put the Callahan roller and the Callahan pin thing, because with those Bigsby's, forget it, come on, that'd be insane. And then my other prized possession is my Lazy River 8-string Weissenborn. Play that a lot. It's going to be the only thing I play on my new solo guitar record, The Problem with Livia, which will be out in 2021. Man, I love this. This guitar sounds amazing. And Pete Biltoff from Vintage Vibe made me a humbucker for the sound hole, perfectly fitted to the specs, to snugly, perfectly fit there. And then there's a K&K system, and they get split. I have a Y cable, a stereo Y cable, so I can have the K&K go to an acoustic preamp and the humbucker go to an amp or pedals or whatever. And yeah, so, oh wow, if I didn't do this, you guys, the gear closet. So it's kind of a mess right now, because part of the reason I'm showing you the studio is because I had to clean it because it was disgusting. The dust was so thick from 2021, and you know. So, so I had to toss a bunch of stuff in here. But here's my other big pedal board. Not big, actually. It's not that big. I think it's like, 12 by 24. It's whatever that, pedal train something. It's not the big one. It's the thinner one. I think it's 12 by 24. So yeah, there's a bunch of stuff in here. Some amps, some pedals, some gear. Lots of pedals. So there's some pedals. They all get used. I've gotten rid of a lot of the stuff I don't use. And what I don't get rid of, I give away. There's tons of stuff in here. I mean, it's just a really good friend of mine who's a musician and a carpenter built this closet for me while I was in London. So I came home and it was boom. It was great. It was great. So I had a place to at least store the junk. A place to put the pedals. I know, it's really crazy. Strings and boxes. And I got a whole nother closet that I won't take you to that's full of guitars. That's behind this. That's under the stairs. That's all guitars that are in their cases. But that's the pedal closet. Now, there are some pedals buried under here. I'm sorry, I'm not going to dig them out, but you get the idea. There's just too many pedals. So there you go. That's the quick tour. Quick. 20 minutes is quick, but yeah. Oh, and I should say, I've got Adams and Eve speakers. Adam AX7s. I've got Eve 5s. The Boss SY1000. My monitor is the PreSonus Monitor Station 2. Monitor Station 2. I love my Impulse keyboard. Love it. I actually have several computers. So this is my travel recording personal computer. I've got my custom designed Pro Tools PC by the Pro Tools PC company. Desktop. That thing can move satellites. This is my old computer I never use anymore, but it's perfectly fine, but it's probably still running Windows 7. And then my old Pro Tools laptop, old meaning it's 5-6 years old, but it was a gamer's computer that the Pro Tools PC guys transferred, made it into a computer. And I use RME products, RME interfaces like the Babyface Pro with this laptop. And my honey, I love this thing. I'll have to do an episode on how it saved my career a few years back, but the Fireface 802 interface, I love the RME people. They are the best. They make their products make me so happy and make my job easy. So anyway, there you go. And we're running Pro Tools 2020.12. Oh, a couple amps over here. I really love vintage 47 amps. That's the vintage VG 185. The old Charlie Christian amp, but it's amazing, and it's so open and glorious and takes pedals well, and that's the new Mighty Mite, I think it's called. It's a 9-inch speaker, but it's easy to travel with, and I had them both made for 120 to 240 volt, and we've got some other stuff here. I don't want to miss anything. A couple headphone amps, a Furman conditioner. I've got vintage keys and it works and it's fantastic. I love vintage keys. My old M Audio interface that we used to use, because a friend of Bob Olson's designed it so the converters were good, but the preamps are amazing and you can use the preamps if you want. There's like 10 of them, I think, or something. And then old Sabine tuner we don't use, but we do use this Alesis ADAT to optical sometimes if we're running big sessions and we have to split tracks coming in optically. A bunch of preamps. That's the Valvetronics D19, the Focusrite ribbon mic for the extra gain, and, you know, a brick from, I don't know who makes that brick. Anyway, you know, the brick. And that's about it. There's, like I said, there's a bunch more stuff in the closet. This is for the travel computer. This is the new Complete Audio 6 V2 by Native Instruments. I have to have that because it runs, it has DC coupled outputs, so I can connect it to my modular stuff and virtual racks, VCV racks, and get the at least some voltage out of it. It won't do +5, but it'll do +2. So, and that's the deal. And last but not least, the best part of the studio, the newest addition, is the Carl Tatz Phantom Focus design chair. You gotta have a good chair. Gotta have a good chair. So, thanks for taking us a little tour. And as Reggie Young said to me once, Ed, you're just too cool. Peace, Reggie Young. All right, I'll see you guys all again soon. Take care.